Welcome back to TacNTrack. I'm Brad.
And I'm Gil. Today we're going to be talking about the Sig P365XL. We have one here, new in box. We did shoot it the other day, but we want to show you what came in the box with this gun. This is a 9mm. Of our compact guns here, this one is the biggest, but to me it's also the most comfortable. This comes with 2 magazines in the box. It comes with the Sig Romeo red dot on top. Underneath the foam here, you get your books, you get a Sig Sauer sticker to put on your truck. You also get an extra battery for your red dot and tools to remove the red dot if you want to put a standard sight on it.
With that being said, this gun does come with an iron rear sight built into the red dot.
Yes, it does. Now when you remove this red dot, this whole plate is cut into your receiver here, and the replacement, if you went with a different style sight, would just screw down right in its place. So you can't just get a blade style and slide it in there. You do have to find something specifically made for this gun, but that's pretty standard. That's what you find most of the times.
It is, and this is actually my first experience with the Sig P365XL. I've shot a lot of Sigs. I like Sigs. I don't think that's a secret. My carry gun is, or was at least, the Sig P320. I think Sig's made some really good stuff. With that being said, I was actually really impressed with this guy. Gil was looking at this, we were talking about it, and I told him to buy the Hellcat.
Yep.
And Gil, are you happy with your decision not to buy the Hellcat?
So he told me to buy the Hellcat because he had an extra holster for it, which wasn't good enough to me to sell me on that. I thought the Hellcat was probably going to be very similar to this gun, just not as pretty and didn't look as comfortable. It looked a little bit wider than this one. So I went with the Sig, and I'm glad I did. Really enjoyed shooting this gun. It was very accurate. The red dot when I got it was very off, so we did have to tune that a little. I would have liked to see them do a little bit of that at the factory, but they didn't. So we had to do it ourselves, and that's fine. It's easy to do with the twist of your Allen wrench that's included in the set.
So one of the things that I noticed on this red dot, I've got a Holosun 507 on a Glock 34. I took mine out of the box, put it on a slide. Gun and slide don't match each other, and my sight was significantly better out of the box than Gil's that came pre-equipped on his gun. I really think that if you can take one thing away from this Sig, get that at least close.
Yeah, and really that's not a problem. It took maybe 1 magazine to get pretty darn close.
And I would say too, with the first time shooting this thing, I was extremely impressed with the way this gun overall performs, the way it fits in your hand. It just feels very, very natural as a firearm, just across the board. So as you guys know, we rate all of our guns in 5 categories. We rate them in value, ease of use, fun factor, reliability, and accuracy to come up with an overall score. So when we're talking about this, we got to talk a little bit about value, and they are fairly expensive.
Okay, it's $649. Where this kit, it does come with the red dot included in that price. So to me, that's what, $500 for the gun, another $150 for this sight. That's not a bad combo, and you get more capacity out of this gun than, say, the Sig P320, which is a similar price point.
It is.
Which one you go with. So I don't see it as that bad of a value at all. And if you can afford a gun in that price range, this is the one, if you're asking me.
I was really actually impressed with the value point. Yes, I know it's expensive, but it does come with 2 mags. By the way, none of the others here on the table come with 2 mags out of the box. The red dot, I talked about the fact I've got a hollow sun. Go price one of those puppies. They're almost as expensive as the whole Sig here, about half the price tag of this entire package just for the red dot.
And I think if the only difference there is you have to tune this one a little bit, I'll take that trade-off.
We'll talk about handgun red dots because I do think my hollow sun is a little bit better than the Sig Romeo. But I don't know if it would be worth buying one of these others and paying to have a slide milled, and totally not worth that.
No. Another thing that this gun's got going for it, it does have a rail here on the front if you wanted to mount a light or a laser or something on it. You don't have to do anything to get that done. It's already there for you.
And that is actually the only one out of these compact guns here that has that feature built in. Now, when we do take a look at the Hellcat, which is
right,
the elephant in the room with reviewing the P365, it does have that. And we'll take a look at the Hellcat at some point. We didn't take it out this most recent time, but we will take it out at some point in time. So look forward to that review too. So we gave the P365XL a value score of 3.1 despite its incredibly high price tag. You really do get a lot for your money here.
I agree with that, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. It's a great gun. It's comfortable on your waist, and it's accurate, good capacity. 12-round magazines, so it's 12 plus 1.
And that is by far the most capacity here on the table.
Yeah.
I think actually the other Sig here is the next most capacity, and it's only 8, and it only comes with 1 mag, and it's not that much cheaper.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer to me.
So our next category here is ease of use. Gil, tell us a little bit about how is this gun to use?
So it's very comfortable in the hand, as we've said. The controls are something you'll be used to. They're not quite like a 1911, but your slide catch is right where you want it to be and simple to depress. There is no safety on this gun, which takes away from it a little bit, but a lot of pocket guns don't have that. Now, this has a great trigger on it. It breaks at 90, and it's very smooth all the way through, and the break is crisp. So it's easy to stay on target. You're not going to jerk this trigger if you've had a little bit of practice with it. As far as takedown, that's simple too. You pull it back, slide the pin down, the rail comes off. You can take out all the internals very simply. If you've never done it before, you can probably watch one YouTube video and get it done.
Yeah, so I've got a P320 RX. This thing comes apart just like my P320 does. If you're used to taking apart anything like a Glock or the Springfield or any of those other firearms like that, this is a breeze to take down, take apart. Really very easy to use. One thing I want to point out too, if you haven't ever used a red dot, there is a little bit of a learning curve, but I will tell you this. I think they are easier to use once you spend a little bit of time behind them than a traditional iron sight. Is that your experience with that gun?
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. And this is one of those shake-awake sights that's pretty much, you'll think it's always on. And they've got like 50,000 hour battery life. So it comes with an extra battery. And I think that gets you almost 10 years battery life, maybe 8 years. But that's a long time to not have to worry about something.
Yeah, and really that's been the complaint for years on red dots. So I have a Romeo 1, I believe, on my 320, and it's got the shake awake feature as well on it. But what I will say is I don't get the kind of battery life that they advertise on this out of the larger red dot. It is a little bit older, but I'm not getting the kind of battery life that they're advertising on this one. One thing I do have a little bit of a gripe on.
Okay.
Here. The rear sight on this, if we're using it as iron sights, is not particularly good.
No, it's very shallow is the problem for me, and I guess it has to be for the way that this red dot is set up. But it is very shallow. If your red dot's not working, it's still usable, but your sight picture is terrible through the iron back here.
And it's got a gorgeous front fiber optic sight that, that really does look really good until you try and find it in that rear sight, and it reminds me of looking down the LCP.
A little bit there, I have to agree with you, but with the red dot operable,
Yeah,
it's no problem.
and absolutely very easy gun to use, very easy gun to take down, very easy gun to clean. Really no complaints on the ease of use score. We're going to give it an ease of use of 4.2 out of 5, which is one of the higher scores that we've given anything.
Yeah, it's a great little gun.
So we cover all of our guns in 5 categories. We've talked about value, we've talked about ease of use. Now it's time for my favorite category, fun factor. And Gil, is the P365XL fun to shoot?
Yes, it is. We had a blast with it down at the range. It feels like a full-size handgun, and it shoots damn near like one. As far as toy, this isn't one. This is something that you can have and rely on. You're going to be able to have a lot of fun with it, but it's also something that you can carry with you every day and know that it's going to perform when you need it to. We had no hang-ups. I'm getting into reliability, aren't I?
So, I really enjoyed shooting this, and Gil's got an excellent point when he talks about it shoots like a full-size gun. Doesn't have quite the full capacity that we're used to. I've got a Glock 34 that is one of my favorite guns to shoot. And really, this feels very, very comparable to that gun. The one thing that does kind of hurt a little bit on fun factor is it does have a somewhat limited mag capacity at 12 rounds. But put that in comparison to other guns in its size range. I think that capacity is excellent for what it is. Really, if you're looking for a do-all gun, I think this is a very good choice. I
agree with that. It's great to take to the range. It's great to carry. I haven't found anything it can't do yet.
Be affordable. So we're going to give the Sig P365XL a overall fun factor score of 3.2 out of 5. So let's talk a little bit about reliability. Gil, how many rounds do you think we put through this?
200 maybe so far.
Yeah, and with that being said, you do have a tendency to have some more issues out of a gun when it's brand new than once it's broken in, and we had no problems.
No problems at all. Straight out of the box, it performed just like you want it to. No hang-ups. Maybe we had good ammo to go along with it. We were using Blazer 9mm.
I don't really know that you'd call that good ammo. Acceptable ammunition.
Acceptable ammunition. And we didn't have a single misfire. Everything fed properly. The slide went all the way back where it should every time. Reliability, high marks from me.
We're going to give it a 4 out of 5. And the only reason we're giving it a 4 out of 5 is simply because we haven't, 10,000 round torture tested it like we have the Springfield. Or some of the Glocks, we put some serious round counts through. We haven't done that with this gun, and we'll probably do a long-term review on this and circle back around to this gun, when we've got 5,000 rounds through it, and give you guys a synopsis there.
How much does 5,000 rounds of 9mm cost right now?
You don't want to do that math, but
it's a lot.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps with that 5,000 round cost there.
Yes, we can torture test if this can become profitable.
So we always talk about the 5 categories. The one thing that we haven't talked about with the Sig P365XL here is accuracy. And this is my first exposure to one of these. I was really impressed.
Yeah, I mean, the way that this thing shoots, you feel like it's a full-size gun. It shoots like a full-size gun, but it's not. It's significantly bigger than some of the others that we have here, but you get carried away in it, and it was incredibly accurate at short distances. It did very well at 50 yards. I think the red dot helps a lot, but even without it, I'm sure that you'd have no problems with this weapon.
Yeah, so it was one of those firearms that, I mean, with any of these compact guns we're talking about, they're not as accurate as a full size, but when you're shooting it, you can almost forget that it's a compact gun. 50 yards, it significantly outperformed all the others here. With that being said, that was the one place you could tell it wasn't a 6-inch ported, barreled, custom-built 1911, but really does as good as many full-size guns. Now,
see, what do we give this thing?
we gave it an accuracy score of 3.4 out of 5, which for its size range is absolutely incredible, certainly outperforming the others on the table by a landslide.
Now, we've only run 200 rounds through here, so if we do a review down the road after a couple thousand rounds, we'll readdress and see how the accuracy is held up.
My personal experience with Sig products, though, have always been positive.
Yeah.
Overall, the Sig P365XL was incredibly impressive gun. For the first time out of the box, I was very impressed with it, and overall I think it's pretty good. What did you think, Gil?
Well, it's what I take to work every day. I absolutely am thrilled with this gun. I think it's worth every penny that you'll pay for it, even though it's a little bit expensive. And I suggest you to do it as well. They had a few problems with the P365 that they fixed with the XL. It's got a slightly longer barrel and not some of the problems that the other gun had, and I just am blown away by how good this is at its expensive price point.
So a lot of the guns that we review here are borrowed. We're going to try and grab a 365 and a Hellcat for you guys. And I think those will actually be a little bit better comparisons than the others on the table that we've got here. But really, really impressive gun. And we gave it an overall score of 3.64, which is one of the higher guns we've ever done.
Yep, absolutely think it deserves it too.
Guys, we're going to have some video of us shooting it on the other side here. Like always, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for your time. Join us again on TacNTrack.
We'll see you then.
Really, really good. Now, this is my first time I've ever shot this, so readjusting my hold a little bit, I feel like I would do significantly better than I did. It takes a little bit of getting used to anytime you go to a new gun, but really, really impressive, especially for its size.
You know how to be a race car driver. Those excuses are almost believable.
So we rate all of our guns in 5 factors. We've talked about value here. We've talked about ease of use. It's time for my favorite category, fun factor. Is the P365XL fun?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels almost like a full-size handgun, and it damn near shoots like one.
I'm gonna come into full agreement here with...
Would Priscilla agree with you?
Hey, babe.
Hey, do you want me to pick you something up while I'm at home?
Yeah.